And those were the top sports news headlines here on France 24. Now we're going to turn our eyes to the east for Asia Live. Today on Asia Live, we're taking you to Tokyo, where our correspondent Gavin Blair is on standby to take us through some of today's top stories there in Japan. Gavin, people in Japan are dealing with the aftermath of some natural disasters.
That's right. It's really been quite a week for natural catastrophes in Japan, and that's been dominating the news here. As you can see in the Asahi Shimbun, you see some pictures across the top here. Now, this started really on Monday afternoon, and what's been described as a freak tornado tore through the city of Koshigaya, which is just north of Tokyo. And the tornado here moved across a 14-kilometre path, ripping the roofs off buildings, pulling up power pylons, tossing vehicles around and injuring residents, including one man who suffered a fractured skull and a woman whose leg was broken. In total, 66 people were injured and more than 500 buildings damaged, as well as more than 35,000 homes which were left without electricity. Now, there were children hurt at 2 schools, one where 20 students were injured when they were outside playing volleyball when the tornado hit. While at another school, children were just leaving after having attended an opening ceremony to mark the start of the new term when the tornado hit there. So then on Wednesday, there were further tornadoes hit again, this time in Yaita City, which is about 100 kilometres north of Tokyo. Now, these tornadoes were less powerful than the ones that struck on Monday. They caused only minor injuries, but still ripped the roofs off houses and knocked out power across wide areas. Now, the cause of these tornadoes is understood to be tropical storms that were approaching Japan at the time. They made landfall this week, bringing torrential rain across the east of the country.
Of course, Gavin, Japan is no stranger to natural disasters. Indeed, the aftermath of the earthquake and tsunami that knocked out the Fukushima power plant, that's very much still on people's minds with this contaminated water scandal that's still dominating the news.
That's right, and the latest solution from TEPCO here is an underground wall of ice that the operator of Fukushima is going to try and use to stem the leaks that have been making headlines in Japan and around the world over the last few weeks. Now, there's such a huge quantity of radiated water at this site, which is increasing by 400,000 litres every day, that TEPCO, the operator there, is really struggling to deal with this. Now, much of this water is stored in tanks that were bolted together in a hurry rather than welded, and some of them have already leaked large quantities of radioactive water into the ground. Now, the Japanese media has been focusing on how TEPCO has now really lost the confidence of the government, which is saying it's now going to take a more active role in the clean-up because leaving it to TEPCO itself really just isn't an option anymore. Catherine.
So, Gavin, I wonder, this ongoing disaster at Fukushima perhaps providing a chilling backdrop to the ongoing bid by Tokyo to host the 2020 Olympics.
That's absolutely right. That decision will be made now on Saturday by the IOC, and there have been concerns, of course, from around the world, particularly from the media, that this may affect Tokyo's bid there.
Sadamori Miyauchi will never forget October 1964. Less than 20 years after Japan's defeat in World War II, the country hosted its first Olympics. Miyauchi, who made the mould for the Olympic cauldron, remembers watching the opening ceremony on TV.
We felt very emotional, even though at the time the TV pictures were not as clear as they are on today's computer screens. Everyone in the stadium fell silent just before the flame was lit. When it was ignited, everyone applauded.
Now aged 73, Miyauchi hopes Tokyo can experience the same excitement again. As the International Olympic Committee prepares to name the host city for the 2020 Games, the retired craftsman is spreading his enthusiasm among Tokyo's young residents.
Take this badge. It's the same as mine. You know that a new stadium will be built here to replace this one. It would be great to welcome the Olympics to the new stadium, wouldn't it?
The boom years of the 1960s have given way to a struggling economy desperate for an injection of energy. The Olympics could provide that extra spark.
Japan has the highest proportion of elderly people in the world. In that sense, the Olympics will help promote sport among young people and old people alike. We can be a model for the rest of the world.
With Madrid and Istanbul also in the running, Tokyo has stressed its ability as the capital of a major world economy to host a successful Games. The main Olympic stadium will be transformed into a futuristic venue, and there are plans for another 10 permanent sports arenas. Tokyo's called on the popular cartoon cat Doraemon to promote its bid and, it hopes, win over the IOC. The Prime Minister, Shinzo Abe, will lead Japan's delegation in Buenos Aires this weekend.
I am going to Buenos Aires. Let's give it all we've got for Tokyo 2020.
According to a recent government poll, 92% of Japanese people are behind Tokyo's quest to host its second Olympics.
And the IOC will be making its decision on which city wins the 2020 Olympics on Saturday. That does round up Asia Live for now here on France 24. OK, well, we're going to take a short break now here on Live from Paris, but do stay with us. My colleague Chris Moore will be back after the top of the hour with plenty more news and analysis for you.